welcome to the Great Reset podcast where insurance meets accountability. Today, I have amazing Aubrey here to share his experience in the insurance industry and what he is doing differently to create transparency, integrity, and trust in the insurance industry with his clients. With no further ado, please, Aubrey, introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Miss Johnson. How you doing today?
Hey, good. You're
It's
right. So, Mr. Aubrey, can you share a little bit about your journey in the insurance industry and what led you to specialize in like advanced markets?
That's a great question. So a little bit about myself. I'm like I said, my name's Aubrey Anderson. I've been in the financial service industry for the past 5 years. However, I don't come from a background of money finances whatsoever. I'm actually a Marine veteran. I was in the Marine Corps for 8 years. Prior to that, born and raised here in Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm oldest out of 13 kids. I got 6 sisters and 7 brothers and a gang of nieces and nephews, right? I've been working since the early age of 12 years old, cutting grass, shoveling snow, raking leaves, and working gravel in driveways. I even started working at Kroger's as a cashier just to support my family through high school. Then once I graduated from high school, I enlisted in the Marine Corps. My first duty station was actually San Diego, California. Loved it. The land of milk and honey. If you've never been there, I tell you what, it's a phenomenal place. I deployed twice, went to Japan and the Philippines. In the Philippines, I got to see a third world country cherish a resource like water, food, electricity, and it got me thinking how Americans take things for granted. So as I transitioned back from deployment, I'm like, how can I give back to my community? And the best way to give back was to donate time. So what I started volunteering for different organizations like Habitat Humanity, building houses of less fortunate, going to soup kitchens, feeding the homeless, even mentoring youth sports. Right, I was doing it so much where I accumulated over 400 hours of volunteer service. And I got recognized by both President Trump, President Barack Obama. So after 4 years on the West Coast, I transitioned to the East Coast to Quantico, Virginia, and from there, there's 3 challenges in my life that led me to entrepreneurship. So my first challenge I had to overcome is that I tore my ACL, MCL, my right knee during combat training. I need knee surgery. So upon having knee surgery, I was going to physical therapy. I met a guy named Scotty Hendricks. Scotty was a physical therapist, and he started talking to me about people helping people at PHP agency. I was intrigued because I like to volunteer on the weekends. So I want to learn how to serve more people. So he sent me some content what he did, and I was blown away because 8 years of military. No one taught me how to build generational wealth, how to protect myself long term, nor how to make additional income. So I went to Opportunity Media in person in Maryland, and I was astounded when I see 27 different nationalities all learning about money and finances. So it got me thinking, if no one's teaching me the money game, who's going to teach my 13 siblings back home in Indiana? No one. So it made sense for me to get started. So a year later, being with the company, I was able to make more on a part-time basis than my full-time obligation in Marine Corps. I was able to build teams across the country. I got agents in 27 different states: Alaska, Texas, Arizona, Washington State, California, Nevada, Texas, Arizona, Indiana, Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama, Georgia, Florida State, South Carolina, Maryland, the DMV area, Virginia, and New York, New Jersey. A long-term goal, what I'm super excited about, is that I'm actually looking to build a charity run, the 5K, 10K, and half marathon called Bear Well Mentality. Just because Bear Well just means loaded and heavy, and the proceeds go to suicide prevention awareness in the memory of my dad.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing. And you said oldest of 13?
I'm oldest at 13, yes, ma'am.
Oh, bless your heart. But no, thank you for sharing. And again, thank you for your service. I appreciate everything you did. That does not
Thank
go
you for it.
unnoticed because I enjoy living in America and being comfortable as hell. So with that being said, can you how do you run your business differently compared to agents who focus on like team growth? What are the key benefits and challenges you've encountered on this approach?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we'll start off. So, like my whole time mission inside the financial service industry, is to reach the multicultural middle class market that's being left behind when it comes to financial education. And the vision I have for my organization, POUR, stands for Provide, Offer, Live, Rebuild, POUR Financial. The vision that we have is 10,000 agents by the end of the decade. So 10K by the end of the decade is where we see ourselves at in the next 5 years. And like we just have the philosophy where if we can just, be the person, would be one, bring one, build one, right? So if we become the person that we see ourselves, the leader that we see ourselves, right? You bring someone else on board, teach them, mold them, develop them that way that they become the person. And you do it so much, right? You continue to duplicate the process. You soon have a community of leaders, right? And that's my vision. Next 5 years is to create a ecosystem of leaders inside the community that they can impact and have everlasting change inside where we live at.
No, that's fantastic. So you are actively recruiting as well as focusing on the advanced market, correct?
Absolutely. And business recruiting is my lifeline, it's my bloodline. I'm always looking to recruit, always looking for the next talent. Just like as churches, they're always looking to recruit pastors, ministers, sports organizations, right? They're always they have talent scouts, right? They
Hmm.
go to high school football games and find the next talent and NBA players and so on and so forth. So while if these $1 million, companies and organizations, right, are always recruiting, why not me, right?
Exactly.
Why I'm not recruiting best talent from our organization.
With your recruiting efforts, how do you ensure that new recruits are properly onboarded and given the tools they are needed to succeed, especially in their early days? What resources do you provide to help them get them running off the ground?
Absolutely, 100%. That's a great question. So I'm heavily system operated, right? I rely on systems for everything. Like, I can't reach my goals without having the proper systems in place. So, once, it doesn't matter if you are, worth millions or, you make like $30,000 per year, right? You join this organization, you all go through the same system, right? You
Mhm.
come on board, you go through orientation, right? You get the proper license, proper contracting. You understand the mission, the crusade of what we do. We'll get you in the field with a certified field trainer, CFT as we call it, in that way that you're able to properly, educate people about power, money, and finances, life insurance, and wealth building. So, our systems allows us to help the newest agent be able to become profitable and have a impact career, however long that may be, that's with us.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for that. So, what is your training process like? How do you balance focusing on your own sales and business while ensuring your team is continuously learning and growing?
Absolutely, training. I love training, man. In the Marine Corps, we have a saying is that you sweat more in peace, you bleed less in war. So our training is phenomenal. We train most times of the week. We have Zoom training just like this, Monday to Friday, mornings and evenings. We also have trainings inside the office, Tuesday evenings and Saturday mornings. On top of that, you know, we have leaders in the office, right? So we have like, we may have some some so we might have like hip pocket training, right? So some things, are caught rather than taught, right? So training is evolutional. It's continuous, honestly. There might be times where it's like, let's say it's like 9, 10 o'clock at night, right? I receive the best nuggets, gems from a leader at that time because I stayed the longest. Everyone's it's part of like a Wednesday night. People got work in the morning, stuff like that. You got to tend the kids, but there's select few agents that kind of outlast everyone else, and they're amongst the leader. A small intimate circle, and that 30, 45 minutes, you are receiving information, right? You're receiving knowledge that can, just shift your mind and uptake your business, right? So, there's training, there's standard training, and there's informal training, right? It's formal and informal training, right? And depends on the agent on what you want to plug into, honestly, because regardless what what you do, right? In order to increase your income, right, you got to increase your mindset by being around the people that are, actually doing it. So, train, like say, you just got to be around the people, get the training and be able to, help increase your business.
Thank you for that answer. So, in regards to time management and managing your own business, how are you managing your own business, recruiting and training others? It's a lot to handle. So, how do you find the time to give your
And
team the attention they need while also managing your own selves?
I mean, I'm a slave to my calendar. My calendar is, jam packed with, just me calling clients or carriers or prospects, inviting them out to the office to our financial workshops. So my what I learned early on is that a idle mind is a devil's playground. So if you don't have a set schedule, right, in your business, you're pretty much up for the win, right? And the win may take you places that you don't want to go. So you want to become laser focused on when it comes to time management and being able to control your calendar, right?
Yeah.
Because people the biggest difference between people that make extensive amount of wealth inside this business versus someone that's kind of struggling is your time, right? We're all
Yeah.
allowed the same 24 hours, right? So if you have an empty schedule for so long, right, you're going to see the impacts of it, right?
Yeah.
Not going to have a lot of clients, not going to have a lot of business, right? You're going to have a very low production month versus someone that has a jam-packed schedule from the T, from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep again, right? You have a uh, several appointments that you have lined up. Even if you don't have anything, any appointments or any clients to see, right? You have something in your calendar where, hey, from this, from in this time period to this time period, I'm prospecting, right? Or I'm out marketing, I'm making content, or
For
I'm
someone
shaking
new.
hands, or right? Like, so you got to be able to utilize your time to max amount ability.
I so love that you said that part because it was in my head. Like, you're like when you were connecting with different people. And again, like I said, I want to find people that are like me to represent this industry. And I want people to find you guys and be a part of you. So I so badly wanted to say it for you, but I was just like listening to God. I was like, trust this man, he got this. And then you landed. I said, that's what I'm talking about because that's the confusion, right? Some people like to make this idea of what work ethic looks like. It doesn't mean you're just pounding the phones all day. It's prospecting. It's
Yeah,
engaging with your agents, talking to people, getting out there,
but
finding out the
it's
new softwares and ideas that are happening in the market, looking at what's changing, what new products are coming in. That doesn't constitute hard work. That is a simple, that could be 2 hours on your schedule where I'm like, hey, I'm going to leave 2 hours for research. Sometimes
yeah,
my research is piddling on Instagram and Facebook because I like to look at content providers like you. I see what you're doing, what you're saying, or I see something that I like, and I'm like, who I like that. I want to add that. So even as I'm piddling, I'm intentional with it because I do a thing that I've learned that I didn't realize I was doing, but I do habit stacking, meaning while I'm doing a task, I add additional tasks in it so that I can maximize my time. Like there's a book I like to read that's an audio. Like I get caught on those little dramas that, they catch us on Instagram and they go, oh, that little story is good. I'm downloading the app. So those apps could be like 40 minutes long. So what I started to do was I would do my hair and makeup whilst listening to it, which took me
yeah.
about 30, 40 minutes. So now I've done habit stacked in one moment and not overwhelm myself. And that's again something I feel like agents aren't taught or let known, which I feel like you're the person to do that to help them look at their schedule, find the gaps in it, and what they can do to maximize all of their time. So thank you so much for saying those words because that's so huge. It's so huge.
Absolutely. My one of my mentors, Bill Corman, he wrote a book by the 160. I may be quoting this one, but he wrote in a book. He's the author of 168 Puzzle, or where he breaks down the time management that you need to be successful in this business and industry. Bill Corman, he's one of the top brokers in the industry out in Maryland area. Phenomenal book, phenomenal mentor, phenomenal person to follow. Follow. He's definitely coached me up, and that way I can lead more people.
and you should have a mentor. You should have people outside your business to help
Yeah,
guide you and shape you, because they're going to see it from a different perspective, because they have different experiences.
exactly.
And they're just like, hey, this is what I went through. You might want to be privy to this so you can be um, proactive versus reactive.
Mentors, mentors serve as a navigation system, right?
Yeah.
They can help you alleviate from obstacles that they went through. I'm so blessed. I have multiple mentors in my life that has helped me, coach me along the way. Because I wouldn't be the type of person, type of man I am today without the people that help guide me through this process. Taking a 26-year-old kid that has been, battled through life and, a Marine, and yet, he's full of energy, but kind of lacks direction at that point, and have, a gentleman, 55, a 50-year-old plus guy, white guy, right? Super introvert. But he took a loving hand, reached out to me and seen the value that I can have on bestowed upon others. It's kind of, it's kind of it's all thanks to God, honestly, because without him I wouldn't be where I'm at, and I'm so glad that God put Scotty Hendricks in my life, that he picked me, he introduced me to this business, and he gave me a sense of purpose that I didn't have before.
No, I love that. And so I was going to ask this question, and you kind of dove into it. I was going to ask if you felt like the military experience helped shape your, how you, what's the word I want to say? Did your military experience shape your business? Or I guess, as you said now, or is it the people you met along the way? Or is it a combination of just the whole thing coming together?
Totally, totally Marine Corps, 100%. Prior to me joining, listening to service, I was always a hard worker. All throughout the seasons. Worked, at a grocery store, during high school, right? So I had a sense of work ethic, and I was loyal to a fault. Um, but yeah, I had no direction, right? So, and I'm so glad that a friend, algebra class, his name was Jonathan Lynch. Um, I was a sophomore. I was sophomore. I believe in no junior. I was a junior at algebra class, and he handed me his recruiter's contact card, Jose Gomez, right? And I'm so glad that I had the courage to reach out and kind of walk a mile, to I think, yeah, like a mile towards the Arms Career Center on Washington Street. So and from there, it kind of just changed my life. Gave me a purpose on what I want to be and who I want to become. And I'm so glad that through all the obstacles and hardships that I faced through boot camp, and along the way in my journey, I'm glad that I stuck with it and I kept fighting through it.
So speaking of that, how do you keep your team engaged and motivated, especially when facing inevitable ups and downs of the industry? What tools and strategy do you use to maintain a strong, cohesive team culture?
Absolutely. So I always go back to when it's one on one. I go back to the why they got started. Because we all in the same industry, but we got started for different reasons. So I reflect on back, what why they got started, and kind of encourage them to keep taking the next step forward. On top of that, I ingrain our mission, crusade, of what we're doing here. That way, that kind of aligns, yeah, everyone on the same beat, right? It's like the quote, this that line from Drumline, you know, one band, one sound, right? And it's creates music. So I'm able to align their purpose on why they got started on top of our mission crusade, what we're doing here, and we're able to march forward and continue to serve out our vision.
A teacher, but I'm a substitute teacher, and that was a complete sentence. I loved that. I loved how you circled that all around, and how you guys, you create that cohesiveness. You start with the why, and then you give the glue to keep it going on. Like you give them a reason to keep fighting and to keep going. And I think that's important. I think that's what a lot of us don't have. We're just like, how do I keep going? And again, that can mean anything. It's just not about the motivation. It's about the resources, the training, the availability, the communication. If these things are
The
not there,
system.
how do I keep my business alive? So while we might be speaking
Exactly.
generally, this is what we're actually talking about. So, what are
Exactly.
some of the biggest challenges you face while scaling your business through recruitment and training? How have you overcome those obstacles?
Uh, so me being in the business for 5 years, like I said, it's very, I'm still new, like,
Hmm.
compared to someone that's been over for decades or 20, 30 years, right? I'm a baby to them. So, so no one knows who I am, right? No one knows who Aubrey Anderson is, right? I haven't really done anything. I haven't served over 100 clients. I haven't, made my first six figures yet. However, though, wherever I lack in skill, I make up in effort, right? So I'm able to go out there every single day with the same amount of enthusiasm as I just got started yesterday, right? I'm still in the phase where like, man, like a childlike faith, right? I'm still believing that everything's still possible, which is this. So I go out there, do the exact same opportunity, exact same execution, pretty much, right? Overwhelming activity. Once I read from the 10X by Grant Cardone, like every single day, right, you gotta go out there and have some type of activity and be consistent with it as well. Like I
Yeah,
said, go out there, meet people, shaking hands. Like my objective every single day is to meet 3 to 5 new people along my route, right? Along my route and call a minimum of 30, make 37 phone calls, right?
yeah,
As I continue to do that, I can continue to make a name for myself and be able to, you know, able to explode my business. So,
yeah,
it's definitely, it's been a journey. And also just to let you know this, I started a business, in 2019 out there in the DMV area, out there in
yeah,
Virginia. And like I said, I was underneath, had a lot of support, had a lot of mentorship, right? From those 3 years, from 2019 to 2022. I actually left the Marine Corps in 2021, January 2021. So I received my last full paycheck, from the government,
yeah,
from the military at that time. And when I went full time entrepreneurship, so 1 year, so after just being a year, being full time, I had a lot of hardships. I faced evictions. I faced, my car being towed. Just 2 months after leaving the Marine Corps, right? I'm at the office. I'm running an appointment. After the appointment is done, I went outside to have my keys in my hand and open the door. I open the door and it's like, look at my car, look at the space that I left my car, and I don't see my car anymore. I'm like, man, like what happened? I went back up to the office, grabbed my mentor, Lance Christmas, and took him outside and like I didn't even say anything. Hey, can you follow me real quick? I need your help. And he asked some questions. He went outside to the parking lot, and I just had the like a sad puppy, man. I had my keys in my hand, just clicking like
yeah,
the button, like trying to hear it. He's like, "Hey, man, they got your ass," and so like that, so that right there, man, just it was a, and it was my first gut punch, and I really had an industry, but full time entrepreneur, right?
yeah,
I didn't make payments on my car for like a month or two, and they tracked me down at the office, man, because I live like 45 minutes away from the office, both ways, right? And just coming outside and seeing my car, got repossessed. I'm like, man, at that moment, I feel like the whole entire world is coming down on my shoulders, and I feel like I was lost and defeated. So me and my mentor, we hopped in the car and we took a drive up to like a quick little restaurant, kind of poured, faith back into me. Hey, I've been down this road, 2 or 3 times, had my car repossessed, had my house, had eviction, stuff like that. Because he was a husband of, father of six, right? So he'd been in the industry for as a realtor for 20 plus years and as an insurance broker for like 4 or 5, 4 years at the time. So, he's been through his ups and downs in the industries, right? And hey, this is a character. You tell me, hey, this is a character building phase, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of trials and tribulations, right? It's gonna come your way. This might not gonna be the worst, and he wasn't, right? 1 year late. So, fast forward, that was May of 2021. When I got my car, which was May 6th of 2021. I remember that. And when I got my car, repossessed. Follow along with some, couple, evictions from my apartment, stuff like that. So, and thank God I didn't get evicted, but, they sent a lot of notices, stuff like that. But I just kind of shoved it off and kept it pushing. Right. And, but one thing that kind of hit me real hard is when in the midst of training, of this April 16th, it was a Saturday, in the midst of training, I got a phone call, saying that my father committed suicide. And that right there just kind of, it just, that was kind of the needle that broke the camel's back, right? And, just kind of, just, it was hard. It was hard to recover. So, 24 hours later, I'm back home, traveled from Virginia to Indiana, just to, be closer to family. Because again, I haven't been home. I haven't lived here from 2013 to 2021 or 2020, yeah, 2022. All right, so 2013, 2022, I didn't live there. So, it's coming back home, just be closer to family, just kind of regroup myself. I was, 6 months later, I was able to open up an office and, build from scratch.
Yeah. But I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. Like that is such a beautiful story of resistance and resilience at that, because your story is not much different from anybody else's in this industry because life does happen outside of our business, but we have to
Oh, yeah.
learn to get back up, and keep going. Because the one thing that this business has taught us is we can make money without having to show up and clock in somewhere. All I
Oh,
got to
yeah.
do is call a couple of people and I can write a policy and be back on my feet again. Like it's just up to you to continue. And I'm glad you shared that because I want people that are listening to this podcast to know that your situation is temporary.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
That is not going to last forever. It's what you do during those situations that's going to make a difference once you get up out of there. Because if you sit and sulk, knowing this issue is going to continue, what are you going to do to change it? Even for myself, I'm facing debt because of the people that I trusted and I hired. And while there might have been some wrongdoing on my part, which I take accountability for I'm not doing my due diligence, whether it be greed or just trying to, peer pressure my way into growing a team. I could either sit there and look at, and mind you, this is over, I would say over $75,000 of debt had rolled up to me in totality over the last 10 years, but more specifically in the last couple of years, like this last year, like 35,000 plus. I actually stopped counting because I don't want to look anymore. But I could have either let that tank me or I'm gonna do something about it. And I did. You know what I mean? I'm substitute teaching.
Yeah.
I still write my policies to bring it down because at the end of the day, this thing is happening. It happened, but it's not me. It's not defining me. It's something that I can work myself out
Exactly.
of because I could be in a position where I don't have the ability to make money, but God blessed me to still be able to make money and learn from my mistakes and do better next time. That's what I'm doing. That's
Exactly.
what blessed and highly favored means. I was blessed enough to go through that thing and I'm highly favored to still be able to make money, to get up out that situation and then be on this podcast with Mr. Aubrey Anderson to help other people going through the same thing, to know there is a way out. There is a light at the tunnel. That is not you tricking yourself, baby. That's a light. It's just real tiny. Just keep walking towards it. It's going to shine. I know we're coming towards the end here and I want to make
Exactly.
sure I capture everything you have to say, but I do want to know how it is, and I know you touched on it a little bit, but how do you help your team grow their own businesses, right? Even how do you become what was for you, for
Mhm.
your agents? What specific methods do you use to
Yep.
ensure your agents have the necessary resources to support and to be successful?
Absolutely, 100%. So, how we help our agents scale their business is being able to being able to kind of teach them how to see how serving others allows you to get what you want, right?
I love
So Jim Rohn says that if you help people get what they want, you eventually get what you want, right? So you gotta figure out, you know, here's what I want,
Yeah.
you know, here's how many people who I have to serve, right? So
Yeah.
it's like it's entrepreneurship, right? So we get paid based off the size of the problems we solve. So if we solve a big problem, right, we make a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
So here we're able to show people a way where they can be able to help, you know, teach others about money and finances, right? You're able to impact people. You're able to educate them about the power of life insurance, and you know, you do all the right steps to getting a family properly protected, able to, you know, make sure they're financially secure, right? From there, you're able to get compensated as such. So, you know, we show people the steps on how you can, you know, advance and expand your business. On top of
Yeah.
that, you know, you reap the benefits of, as well. Right. So, you know, just, you know, we get like, it's a process for 100%.
Yeah.
And we just more like education, right? Just it's showing how a business owner thinks and what you can do.
No, absolutely. You know what I was thinking just now while you're talking? If I were to put a mirror to you, you are exactly what you say you are. You everything that you were saying, I see you doing it. And that's what has frustrated me about the industry is that you have people saying all of what you said, how they support you and all these things, but those aren't the actual things once you go through that door that are actually being executed. And I love that you were saying
Yeah,
that and you're a reflection of that. And anyone could hop onto Aubrey Anderson's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and then you see that. And I see that by the responses in your comments, by your clients who are
yeah,
giving you feedback. Baby, I'm watching, okay? Because I really do care about this industry and I care about people. I grew up poor. The first of the month was our holiday, right? So even when I sat with my clients, I get that. I would, after I build a little rapport and they know my story, I'm just like, all right, baby, what day of the month do you want this to come out so you know how broke you are? They laugh because they get it. And they love that I get it. And I humanized them and didn't make them feel weird about their situation because we all got situations, you know? And so for me,
absolutely.
it's like being part of a leadership in a team that represents who I am, and I can feel comfortable that they are going to they won't go against my moral compass, and that I would feel comfortable not just building their dream, but I'm building with them alongside them. So what I want to kind of segue to as we're diving
Exactly.
towards, yeah. With that being said, for the agents who are considering joining your team, how do you ensure they will have attention and the necessary support they need to grow? How do you manage one-on-one time with agents amidst your busy schedule?
So here's like what I found is that, you know, it's with our culture, you know, attracts everyone, but our values and principles will keep the people that are intentional about, you know, serving others and staying, right. You know, so, you know, I'll be honest with you, the first 8 months in the business, right? You know, I didn't know what we was doing. I had no clue about life insurance, right? I had no clue on what we was offering whatsoever. I'll be honest with you. All I knew was that I'm showing up to an environment where it's high energy, high enthusiasm, high intensity, right? Where everyone's dressed sharp, everyone's in suits, and you know, females are, you know, they got the heels on, the blazers, the nice dress, you know, the earrings, the fingernails, the toenails, and everyone's having fun. Everyone's, you know, everyone's just having a great time, right? So our culture here, I mean, I seen people, you know, just be so, you know, develop and thrive on the culture, right? And some
Yeah,
agents like they don't want to make money, right? And that's totally fine. I'm cool
yeah,
with that, right? If you don't want to make money and but you just want to be stick around a great group of people, you know, entrepreneur spirit that's always thinking big and you know, sharing the cash and vision, that's totally fine. I've been around those people, great people, right?
yeah,
You know, and you know, and our culture is so welcoming, and you know, it's like a home, like kind of like it's like a
yeah,
refresher, right?
yeah,
You get recharged when you walk through the doors, and you know, you hear people are always uplifting, always, you know, pretty much, you know, it's like they're always, you know, they're visionaries, right? Always thinking about the
yeah.
future.
Regardless of anyone's experience, because you just mentioned there's people who don't want to make money. Those are the same people that are going to spread nonsense about They don't do this, they don't do that. So even on my podcast, I want people to know, even if there are grievances shown about other agency and IMOs, that doesn't mean that's a bad place. That was just their experience. And what you should take from these conversations is more of like a warning, or more to prepare you so you are proactive in your decisions. If you understand that, hey, these might be some behaviors here, but I love what they're doing, just not that person, right? Or that
Yeah,
agency. Let me get away from them. And that's how it will allow you to make them a informed decision, because you're going to interview multiple managers before you get in, because it's like, I might like Aubrey, but then I might go talk to someone else. I'm not going to immediately make a commitment to Aubrey when I feel like this person might be better suited, because I don't want to waste my time. I'd rather talk to you for 20 minutes than waste 90 days of either of our time just for us to have to do a whole bunch of paperwork and move around.
and I'd be transparent. Sometimes, like, I have agents from different organizations, come out to our financial workshops, and they feel the energy, right? They
Yeah,
feel, they feel the difference, and after all the meetings and the workshops over, they come to me like, they ask me, why should I join you guys? And I'd be transparent, like, bro, you're here for a reason, right?
yeah,
You just witnessed our crusade and mission, what we're doing, how we're impacting families, right? If you don't see it, then you don't see it, right? I can't say the right thing to
exactly.
the wrong, nor can I say
It's
the
like, I'm
wrong
not a
thing to the right.
therapist. I can't read your mind.
Exactly,
What is it
exactly,
that you're looking for? What are you shopping
exactly.
for?
That's
Ask
you.
me, hey, but
That's a
hey, do
personal
y'all
question.
got some of them leads there? Y'all got
So
some of that training there? Like, you're not asking any questions when we just presented a whole presentation. I already don't want to work with you because clearly
exactly, hey, you
your
go for
mind is like not thinking.
exactly like, hey, if you want to win, you come with me, or you want to go somewhere else, you go somewhere else, man.
Then
Or if
go
you don't
somewhere
go,
else, because
I don't
I know what
care.
I'm going to do. Right.
Exactly. It's like I can't. I
And
don't control me.
and again, date you, right? If I, let's just say I wanted to go in back into the industry, work at a team, I'm going to date you for a while. I'm going to be like, hey, I've got some
Yeah,
clients. Let's do some policies. I want to see how you actually
yeah,
act.
man.
I want to see how you can, I want to see if you can actually teach me something while we're working together. And now we both got skin in the game, because I'm giving you part of the
Exactly.
commission, all the things, and we're
You
working
got some
together.
time. You showing up and stuff like that.
Exactly.
You
Instead of
showing up
just
and giving me
jumping the
time
gun.
worth more than it shows me more than you us making money. Right? Make money is like the
Exactly.
byproduct we do, but you showing up and being able to us, sharing our time together, building rapport, like I said, fostering a relationship
Yeah.
with one another. Right? That's worth more to me than making money.
And I'm not about to chase you. Why am I begging you to be in my, if I have
I,
to beg you to be here, that means I'm going to have to convince you to sell the product. I'm going to convince you to have to go to training. I'm going to have to continually convince you to do everything. That is not my job at all.
Exactly. I'm not here to convince anybody. I'm here to educate, inform, and give value. Like that's all I'm here to do. That's my responsibility. If you can decide, if you decide it's not right fit, hey, it's not right fit. Hey, we're good friends.
1000%.
So and that's it. Honestly, like I said, I'm not here to sugarcoat or any smoky mirrors. Right. I'm transparent. This is, hey, you do A, B, and C, you get X, Y, and Z. Right. It's pretty much that. Like I'm not a long-winded person. I'm not someone that
Yeah.
has tricks or type of stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is, hey,
What
this is
you
what I
see is
have,
what you get.
and this is what you can get. Exactly.
Exactly. So as we're rounding up, and this, this is my last question to you. You've already explained to us about your goals about hitting that 10,000 agents in the next 5 years, right?
Yep.
Okay, I want to make
Yep.
sure about hitting your goals, about the 10,000 agents in the next 5 years, making sure your impact is felt all over the country. What is some advice you would give to agents who are considering recruiting and training others while continuing to grow their own book of business? What should they be prepared for? How can they ensure that they don't spread themselves too thin?
Absolutely. So, if you're a leader that's looking to lead others, right, you have to be the sole, you gotta be the like, you gotta show people it works, right? So you gotta be the sole proof of the business, right? So if you're not winning in a business, how do you expect others to follow you, right? And
Yeah,
and eventually, people start to look at you like, hey, Aubrey's not doing, what he said he's supposed to do. And eventually, they'll go follow someone else, right? And at that point, I'm not a leader no more because I have no one follow me. I'm just someone taking long walks, right? So like I said, um, if you're looking to build an agency or business, right, you got to cast vision. on where your company's going, right? And two, you got to be able to have systems set in place that way that you can have some that way that people can follow, right? You have to have systems set in place that people can duplicate and be able to run on their own as well, right? And and if you're looking to either start a new career or at a side hustle or be on part time, this business industry can do wonders for you, right? This is such a rewarding career outside of money, right? You learn so many skills like business skills, leadership skills, right? You're able to change not just your future, but the people that you come connect with, right? You will start to bless someone that you never met before in this industry. So I mean, honestly, man, someone that's looking to change career paths, this definitely an industry that you might want to start looking into.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Aubrey, for being on our podcast today. Again, for our listeners listening out there, if you haven't already, email us at admin@agentscorereport.com, where we have a new agent checklist questionnaire of all of the questions you should be asking any agency or manager that you are looking to partner with. And of course, anyone that comes on these podcasts have already passed that test and they are Agent Score Report certified. So with that being said, thank you for watching the Great Reset podcast where insurance meets accountability. And don't forget to create a profile on agentscorereport.com where you can rate and review other insurance agents in the industry. Have a good day, guys, and we'll see you next time. Okay,
Absolutely.
awesome. Hey!